Mississippi, Utah, and now Minnesota. All 3 states have changed their state flag in the last few years to make them better. I'm at the Indianapolis International Airport on my way to the North American Vexillological Association Conference, which is just a yearly meetup of flag nerds like me, and it's in Minnesota. So I figured, of course it's time to make a video about the new Minnesota state flag. Minnesota's old state flag used to be one of the worst state flags in the country. It was one of the 20 plus state flags that was just a seal on a blue sheet, but the state seal had racist imagery in it. One of the reasons that all of this kind of kicked off, I'm just glad that the flag and the state seal have been retired. So since Flags for Good doesn't sell flags with bad designs, we definitely don't sell flags that have racist imagery in it, we always sold this as the flag of the state of Minnesota. This is called the North Star flag. It was designed in 1989, it's older than I am, by Lee Harold and Reverend William Becker. It was a well-designed alternative to the Minnesota state flag, and for 30 plus years gained a lot of popularity. So when Minnesota announced that they were going to officially redesign the flag and the seal, I and many of the flag people at this flag conference and around the state of Minnesota assumed that this would be the shoe-in as the new flag since it's been around for so long.
Okay. You're good.
Thank you.
53 different countries.
Most U.S. states.
Hey, listen, I had an entire script written for this video. It was going to be nice and easy. But after going to the NAVA Conference and getting to meet people who were involved in the redesign process, I learned a lot. If you want to hear just about the new flag design and what it means and all that, that'll be at the end of the video. Go ahead and skip ahead. But I think the most interesting part of all of this is how we got here. This all kicks off in May of 2023 when Minnesota creates the State Emblems Redesign Commission, and they are finally going to address this controversial seal and flag. Interestingly, they also set a deadline that whatever the commission comes up with will become official on May 11th of 2024, a year from then. Fast forward to October, they open public submissions so anyone can submit a flag or a seal. A lot of people just go ahead and submit the North Star flag because they were like, yeah, we already fly this. As with most contests, a lot of people submitted really funny things that weren't taken seriously, but we thought were so funny that we started selling some of them, like this loon shooting this walleye with lasers. Imagine that up there. After the submission window closed and the commission got to look through the 2,000 designs, on November 21st, they released the 6 finalists. And do you notice something missing there? The North Star flag didn't make it. And boy, was that the talk of the conference. We had a panel discussion with some of the legislatures and committee members for the flag, and I asked them directly why the North Star flag didn't make it to the final 6. There wasn't a clear answer, but a lot of people speculate that since Duluth had changed their city flag to something very similar to the North Star flag, coincidentally, that it was just too similar and that's what disqualified it. Lee and Reverend Becker were at the conference and I got to chat with them a lot. They gave a presentation at the formal dinner that we had, and it was a mix of emotions. They were disappointed, of course, and they were critical of the committee and their process, And even though they are supportive of the new flag, they were skeptical of his success. I personally think that the end of the North Star flag happened because the committee felt like they had to come up with a new design. Because like, think about it, if you're a committee and you're like, hey everyone, here's the new flag, it's existed for 30 years, thanks. I just feel like most people who are in the position of being on a committee like that want to have a hand on history, and they didn't want to just pick something that they didn't have a hand in. That's my speculation. One of the flags that did make the final 6 was this design that people started calling the Star Flake. I got to meet up with Brandon Hunt, the designer of that flag, and ask him how he felt about everything.
So I designed the first version of the flag that became known as Star Flake like 9 years ago. So when I submitted it, I told my 12-year-old daughter, I think this flag is gonna be a finalist. I think it has enough quality of that, but I also don't think it's gonna win. So don't let me get my hopes up. But then I got my hopes up after seeing like the initial reaction of it from the commission as well as the public. It started to be called like the favorite by the media, and it started to capture people's imaginations, I think, in a way.
In mid-December, they took the 6 finalists and they winnowed it down to 3, which eliminated Brandon's Starflake design. Days later, from those 3 down to 1, they announced it will be some variation of this design by Andrew Precker, who I got to hang out with at the conference.
The committee was very clear from the beginning that all of the final designs were not finished products. They were very much going to revise the designs and improve upon them. And I collaborated with the committee quite a bit on doing certain revisions. And so I was very happy with the final flag design. And I think we created a really awesome version that is the best possible version of the flag.
Let's break down this new Minnesota State flag's design. The main element to me is this dark blue shape on the hoist. That's an abstract shape of the state of Minnesota. Usually when people say, oh, we could just throw the state's shape right there on the flag, I would say, no, don't do that. But because this is so abstract, it becomes this inverse chevron that I've not seen on a flag before, and I really like it. Inside of that blue shape is a white 8-pointed star. This star has a lot of significance to the Native American populations here in Minnesota, and it appears right there in the rotunda of the state capitol. This is unintentional, I learned, but the star creates little M shapes if you look the right way. I like that. Also, the star has a point that goes straight up, and that references the state's motto, L'Étoile du Nord, or the North Star, the Star of the North. The rest of the flag is just blue. It's just bright blue, which is my favorite part of the whole design. It represents water and of course the land of 10,000 lakes, but I think it was such a bold design choice. They could have gone with stripes like Andrew's original design, but this big, solid, bold fly edge, I don't know if any other flag has done that yet. And when it's flying, it looks incredible. To my knowledge, it may be one of the only flags to use 2 shades of the same color as the 2 central elements, and I just think it's bold and good.
A lot of people have asked me what is the name of the flag, and I was really conflicted about what to name it for the longest time, but I ended up settling on a name that somebody else gave it on early in the process of the commission, and they titled it Unity of Minnesota. And I really liked that name and felt like it really encapsulated exactly what my goal was with designing this flag, which was bringing unity to our state. And so I call it Unity for short. It hasn't really caught on, but it's really up to Minnesotans to give the flag a name and embrace it.
The process that Minnesota went through was far from perfect, as we've seen, but it still came out with a really good result. That's why stores like Mischief Toys behind me have had a hard time keeping them in stock. We keep shipping them new flags and they keep selling them right as they come in the door.
This one really looks like Minnesota. Perfect.
When the bass hit your face, you be like.
I'm back.
What's up?
Wow, really?
How was your trip?
People are gonna see this, you know. We, of course, sell all kinds of versions of the new Minnesota flag, including pride versions, stickers, all different sizes of flags, including, of course, the North Star flag and the laser loon. You can get all of that at flagsforgood.com. I'm Michael from Flags for Good. Leave a comment as to what flag I should do a video on next, and bonus points if it's somewhere beautiful, like Minnesota. That was awesome. I had such a good time. I'll see you then.
I had a whole script written about this new flag, and I'm throwing it right out the door.
Well, I should have brought a pole, and I could have just left this here at the Capitol for them. It has been far too long since I've made bubble letters. I suck at this. Can you see me? You'd think as a flag designer I'd be good at art, but I'm not. At all. I don't do well in sand. This looks like shit. Start over.
Bass hit your when the bass hit your face, you be like